the Allspark is just a MacGuffin.
I'm never gonna give you the Allspark! I feel like a fruitcake saying that, Mike.
We'll call it MacGuffin 1. Decepticons want to use it to rebuild Cybertron, however they don't know where it is. What do? Use Google to find Shia LaBeouf's eBay account and take him down for scalping PS5s off the internet.
Yeah! PS5s.
The Decepticon wants Sam Witwicky's glasses that he got from his great-great-grandpa. We'll call these MacGuffin 2. These laser-blasted glasses were so important they were handed down from generation to generation, but I guess not so much for being sold on eBay in 2007. Because of MacGuffin 2, every bot wants to get to say. Imagine if this was you in this situation. You're selling, I don't know, some piece of junk family heirloom, and suddenly space robots descend from the sky and ask you about your eBay page.
eBay.
I mean, this is definitely one of those things where I've heard Critical Drinker talk about in a few reviews, where it's like, does what's happening actually make sense, though? Like, is it a logical conclusion? Is this a reasonable deduction that characters could come to? Or is this a reasonable situation, right? Yeah, your giant space robots check you because of your eBay page, right? If they happen to find you. Or you'll have a situation in which the plot only moves forward by a sequence of very coincidental meetings, right? Like, it very much is a product of just coincidence after coincidence, right? And how that doesn't necessarily translate well to a good story, right? So I think it's interesting to consider that. I think that, I don't know, I'm assuming like you could rewrite that fairly easily too. Like, if the glasses are actually what is supposed to have gone, be a like actual integral part of this, right? It's not entirely out of the question for, like, I don't know, it to come up somewhere other than an eBay page. Maybe it has some sort of actual, like when there's electricity that charges through it, right? And resonating frequency or something like that. I don't know. Like, people far more just educated than lore can really talk about that, right? Like, some scenes in general can be removed. If we go on the Star Wars thing, the whole, like, where did you find Luke's lightsaber? Oh, well, it's a good question, but it's a story for another time, and the story never gets told, right? I mean, you can just take that entire bit out, right? The entire Canto bisection from 8 can come out. Come on, Rian Johnson, that was bad. Like, there's things that can come out, and it's also like, as Critical Drinker brings up multiple times, especially in Rise of Skywalker, right, where it's like the stupid dagger and the stupid map, right? Like, yeah, like the more you think about it, right? As somebody who can turn my brain off and watch the sequel trilogy just fine, but that's the key phrase there, turn your brain off, right? Like, there are a lot of coincidences that have to happen. Doesn't help that you had two directors warring with each other because identity matters, identity doesn't matter, identity does matter, right? Like, there's a lot to talk about in that, and I've already reacted to multiple hours of Star Wars content, but point being, right? Like, it has to be believable to your audience. Your audience should reasonably be able to make certain leaps and jumps, right? The audience is going through a journey with the characters, right? And if the characters come to, some conclusion, right? Well, reasonably, your audience should be able to come to the same conclusion as well. And even then, like, you can just call the entire story, right? I've called multiple points in Final Fantasy XIV's story just fine, right? It's predictable, it's not bad, but how is it written? How is it done? Does it make sense? And that's really the big question. If it doesn't make sense to your audience, or if you're trying to ham-fist something at your audience, you're definitely gonna have that little bit of abrasion there. It's gonna not feel good for your audience.
Like, what do you even do in that situation? You ask them to bid on it. Come on, Sam, you gotta keep up the grind. Shenanigans occur, the Autobots commit some heavy property damage, obliterating the Witwicky's insurance rates.
Wow, that was tingly.
And Sam has some happy time. All is going peachy until the feds show up and everyone involved is sent off to Guantanamo, never to be heard or seen from again. Sam lives the rest of his life being converted to Islam by radical extremists as he realizes the true enemy wasn't the Decepticons, but the infidels all along. Alright, so I'll admit, this movie has some problems. But the problems that only get more emphasized in the sequels. So much so it just makes the first one seem tame in comparison. The overall sexual energy that's a staple of any Bay film.
Listen, I was wondering if I could ride you home.
The one-liners that really don't work.
You feeling lucky, punk?
But all of these are such low-hanging fruit. You've heard these all before. I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste mine. I just want to understand how the ideas in this movie came to be. Like I said, I did a lot of research in the world of Michael Bay. Way too much. Please help me. And for a franchise lacking...
How many fanfics did you have to go through? Like fanfics written by Bay himself. I feel like that'd be an insight to Michael Bay.
a lot of complexity. It's remarkably dense under the hood.
So it like repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself. Keep counting.
What I'm saying is a whole lot of people put countless hours and effort into a film that ended up being a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. Anyone can have any opinion they wish of the film. And I can see how old fans might have went into this film and been incredibly put off and disappointed by these designs.
I mean, honestly, yeah, like, have your opinion. I think D&D 2000, like the actual like Dungeons & Dragons 2000 movie with Jeremy Irons, one of my favorite movies. Oh, it's campy, arguably bad, but I enjoy it. It's really fun for me. But like, yeah, like most people probably wouldn't like that movie, and that's completely fine, right? Sure, I can turn my brain off and go watch the Hobbit trilogy or the sequel trilogy, right? Keyword once again, turn brain off, but it's like, and if someone doesn't have a high opinion of it or someone loves it, I mean, that's ultimately up to them. Is that subjective?
It left a sour taste in their mouth. I get it. Now that said, since this was my first interaction with Transformers, I did not care. I did not know Ironhide used to be red. I did not know Starscream was the best character.
I guess that makes me the new leader.
Now, as an adult revisiting Gen 1, of course these designs are more visually interesting and distinct compared to this. I played the Cybertron games too. This has been an opinion for a while. The 1986 movie is still the best of them all just through aesthetics alone. However, the 1986 movie and Transformers 2007 are doing two entirely different things. And for the story this film was trying to tell, I think these designs work. For this movie, and this movie only. Now, early on in the project's history, there were ideas to keep the robots as close to the original designs as possible. Instead of the complex organic designs, the Transformers were going to appear, well, blocky. Yet as the setting went closer to a disaster approach, a more realistic setting for the general audience, they had to find a way to differentiate Decepticons from the Autobots for the first-time viewers.
I think that that's a big one. So when Critical Drinker
Let's
says,
hope you put up a good fight.
Lightning flash! Halloween thunder!
Audience, right?
Let's
All right, let's finish this fast. All right, you asked for it. Boom!
Some skill, hair, whatever ideology, right? But like, we're talking about normies, right? Like, normies who walk into, you know, like a card shop or a bookstore or something, and they've like never heard of Transformers. They've never heard of like, Warhammer, right? They've never heard of, you know, of The Witcher, right? And that's their first introduction. What has to be done with an existing story to cater to that group? I hear things like Fallout have done it very well. Personally, I can't attest that one way or the other, as I personally...
Lolling! East Papa! Transfixed!
But even that, I think the Elder Scrolls, what would have to be done to make the Elder Scrolls palatable to a modern normie audience, right? Generalized audience, right? You're probably going to make the Thalmor a little less racist, let's be honest. You're probably going to paint someone like Ulfric Stormcloak. Let's say they're going Skyrim route, right? With a film series, right? Probably paint him in more of a flattering light. The Imperials, for the most part, are probably going to be much like Dagoth would say, mongrel dogs of the Empire. Maybe that they'd be more antagonistic, right? Graybeards might, you know, try to play a more prominent role. I don't know, man. But you have to say, like, how would this work? How would this work for a generalized audience? And I think that modern audience and generalized audience are two separate things when you come to a discussionary bit on it. And it's interesting to consider what happens because of considerations made for modernized and generalized audiences, right? I think that being able to share things is great. I think being able to share complex things, complex topics and stories is great. Whether that's, you know, L5R actually gets a new product that's actually great, or something like 40K is able to release something that's just a smashing game like Smash 42. I think a lot of people got on board with that, right? But the concern comes down to if it's being faithful, if it's being done in good faith, and if the image, integrity, and honestly stability of the brand are all being preserved, right? I'm certain that, you know, when it comes to something like Space Marine 2, as widely well received as it was, I'm sure that there's lore breaks in there. I'm sure that, you know, you can look at this.
Show no mercy! Laid
Outside of I think technically a retcon because they're supposed to be guarding the Emperor aside from one specific group, but I can't honestly for the life of me understand if that's a specific splinter group. Not splinter group, it's the one with the purple cloaks, right? If that they're supposed to go out and do that, I think that was a later addition. Someone who understands 40K lore way more than I can speak interaction there. But it's especially, I think Warhammer is very relevant to this discussion because of how widespread it is after certain successes like Space Marine 2. How it has a lot of eyes on it, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Oval base turning in 9th, I heard, was awful. Now it's a little better. In 10th, they also got a
Get to work! Transfixed!
Being made into the Michael Bay films kind of shares little parallels between, you know, a game that's been going for 40 years. Like what? 40 years since Space Marine, not Space Marine, excuse me, since 40K launched, right? First Space Marine, 40 years, and now we're coming to an era where we have a big budget Amazon production, you know, or the same studio or the same company at least, right? That made Rings of Power. You see why a lot of people are on edge. And I think it's a good discussion to have in regards to why it feels like a modern and or generalized audience. Why I'm sure that the actual 40K fans, I'm a tourist, the actual 40K fans are going to know a lot more about what I know. I think looking towards media, modern media specifically, and how legacy IPs are being treated is a good indicator for how treading new ground, whether it be The Witcher, whether it be extended Tolkien content like Rings of Power is trying to do, covering Silmarillion kind of content, or even 40K. I think it's a good insight into where the industry is going and what to expect.
Good guys were more human and spoke human languages, while the bad guys were more alien, came in a variety of different shapes, and other than Megatron, barely spoke at all.
Suck this Earth planet dry!
While in the original Transformers, the Decepticons had their own unique designs of various shades of blue and purple, this wasn't going to work here, mainly because of the type of vehicles they wanted to use for the enemy. The Autobots would drive civilian cars, while Decepticons turned into military hardware. It gave them an overwhelming presence and an authoritarian nature.
Alright,
In the
let's
first
finish this
game,
back.
the only Decepticon car that appeared
I want to just point out really quick. So, you know how, like, obviously, yeah, like, you know, in setting, right, you have Decepticons that are able to scan military equipment and then be able to, like, shift into that. If there was, like, I don't know, a swarm of nanobots or something, IRL, that could, at surface level, scan, like, an F-22 or an Apache or whatever, right? Actual like military hardware at a glance and turn into that. Especially if it's something like the F-22. Can you imagine that the DoD's response to that? That would be wild. I feel that is a very much oh snap moment, to say the least.
Please go.
Based?
So yeah.
Show no mercy! Suffer the wrath of East!
But it went really a
Don't mind if I do.
disguise to its horrifying conclusion. The military wouldn't know who's friendly or not, and as much as it would have looked cool to see a familiar character, it wouldn't work if Starscream was still red and white. Which one's the enemy? Oh geez, I don't know.
Right.
Now that doesn't excuse the weird deep voice and pug face. That's just hilariously stupid. But while they are less colorful, upon revisiting this movie, I was actually shocked how distinguishable the Decepticons actually were from one another. It isn't until the sequels when they descend into a generic gray mass of unrecognizable parts. Yet nothing made fans angrier than those damn hot rod flames. Why does Optimus have hot rod flames? Why is he not red? Cameras. That's the reason. I'm being serious.
Ad Astra
Abyssosque. He knows how to
Welcome
shoot
to the
cars.
Adventurers
Bay's
Guild.
reasoning was that nothing is harder to film on camera than red paint on cars.
Has this man actually worked with like animals? Like, have you like what is it? Animals, pets specifically? Well, I don't know.
Ad
like,
Astra
trying to work
Abyssosque.
with animals.
Welcome
on
to
set,
the
right? But I guess
Adventurers
that's
Guild.
Photography. Maybe I'm thinking of photography, right? Like being
Thank
able
you for
to get
completing
a,
today's
like a cat
commissions.
or a
Here is your
rooster,
reward.
Right? I remember watching a piece on one of the roosters that has like a giant bulging chest, right? Getting those to stand still for an extended period of time is awful for photographers. So I might be thinking of photography over cinematography, but I think it's an interesting take to have. I think that's I wonder if there's actual validity to that, or if it was just a subjective thing to him.
Apparently, the way light reflects off of red paint absolutely messes with lighting. The solution to this red color problem was those very much despised hot rod flames, as the blue truck appeared better on film, while the flames would give his chest a similar red appearance when he transformed. This was also why Ironhide was changed to black as well. Now their faces are an entirely different story. I mean, oof. I'll be honest, I really don't like the realistic faces in any of the Bay movies. In fact, they only get worse from here on out. Any new Autobot went into this uncanny valley of humanoid faces, while any new Decepticon just became an alien mess.
I mean, this feels like very much Op 4 Blue 4, right? This like, you are an opposing force, you must be different. Color coordination, military vehicles versus civilian vehicles, right? Degenerating into more monstrous facial features, right?
Travelers,
feels
come
very
on,
much like
over here.
distinguishing.
Welcome to the home base
like, that
of the
very much
Field
feels
Life Center.
like a meta thing.
As you can
versus
see,
actual
the core
in-story
projects
thing.
are already up
Despite
and
the
running,
creative
so we can get
decisions
to work
being
at any
hit or
time.
miss, I will say I am impressed,
feels like
if by anything,
One of those
by
places
Michael
light
Bay's
novels
team.
talk about. You know, the adventuring hubs where rookies gather to take quests and stuff.
Bay films are often just written off
and
as
almost like a
Bay
school
films.
festival at the same
But movies
time,
are collaborative.
with everyone getting
Apparently,
together to
Bay has a
learn
very
and then
specific
forming
team of
teams
people
to
he
hone their
used for
skills.
all three of these films.
It's so exciting!
For a franchise that descended into nothing but a CGI mess, it's really weird how
This
practical
place
the
isn't
effects
quite as
started
decked
off.
out as a school
And it's even
festival,
stranger
but
when
Master
looking at the
Tainari said the
films that are
academia
made
plans to be
today
generous with the
their
resources.
over-reliance on computers and
Anyway,
green screen.
before students and
I hear
researchers head out
it's
on
like-
dangerous field missions,
I hear it's
they
more
can come here for
expensive to
advice and
use
emergency
computers than green
training.
screen, too.
We even
Like,
have
don't get
professionals
me
on
wrong,
staff
right? I was
that can
hearing
join their
about,
teams to serve as guides or safety personnel.
Obviously, Aragorn.
Yeah, you
was
can think of it like a forward
Mortensen
operating base.
broke his
Equal
toe,
parts theoretical
taking
training
the
and
helmet,
field
right,
practice.
Obviously.
We'll
Sean
familiarize
Astin,
new
Samwise
recruits
Gamgee
with
stepped on a
potential
piece of
challenges
glass.
in the wild
I guess,
and take them through
Orlando Bloom
drills,
Legolas
so there's
ended
no
up
reason to
breaking her
panic
rib.
during the real
Like,
thing.
I get it. You want to make sure that you're minimizing
you're
risk. You
here
want to make
too?
sure that, cost-benefit analysis. You want to make sure that, you're not hurting people on set, right? Like, I get that. I understand that. Having regulation standards, etc. Like, this green screen stuff, it can look really bad. Even modern Amazon spending whatever
Surprised?
bajillions of dollars
I know I
whatever they're
was.
spending every Rings of
I'm
Power
off duty right
episode,
now,
right?
so I was planning
When
to
I
just
look
drop
at one
in
of
on
the
Cully
elves
for a
and,
bit.
like, his hair literally
But I
has
didn't
chroma
realize
key,
how
like,
busy
green
she'd
on
be.
it.
I'm not the type
Bro,
of person to sit
what
around and
are you
watch.
doing?
So
I decided to be her
Go find
assistant.
somewhere, anywhere,
Sorry,
and just
Amber.
go do it
I
like,
didn't
on
mean
site.
to put
Like,
you to
go do
work
it,
during
like,
your time off.
Just do it live.
Don't worry
Like,
about it.
it
A little
hurts,
relaxation
bro.
balanced
Like,
out with some
why
fulfilling
is
work is a
something like
great
Star
vacation in my
Wars-
book. Plus, I've learned a
Star
whole bunch
Wars,
of stuff
comma,
too.
or
And
as it
I
was
got to
later
see the
known as,
Traveler
and
in
currently
Paimon
known as
again.
Star Wars
I mean,
Episode
it
4,
just
A New
keeps
Hope.
getting better.
Why does that look like it has better like choreography and stuff than modern
We should
movies?
have a giant feast
A
once we're
movie that,
done
like,
here. How does
really
that sound?
tries really hard, and you can tell like, oh man, I
This was the
don't
first friend
understand
we met
it, bro.
in Sumeru, and the first friend
That's
we
like,
met on
oh.
our whole journey.
The over reliance on CG
That
and
sounds
stuff
just about as
hurts.
awesome as
It
a
makes me so.
giant
Here's my
plate
take
of
on this.
sticky honey roast.
Here's my uneducated
All right,
biggest take
down
on
to
this.
business then.
That there was
Kale and
such
I are
an
in charge of the
investment
Scouting
in
Speedsters project.
CG tech
The focus is using
that
devices
getting
and
rid of
machines
it
to
and
pass through hazardous
downsizing
areas,
is
survey
not a good
terrain,
option.
and get
And because
details
they're
on
already
potential
paying
threats.
for it as is,
Plus,
they
a
might
more
as well
research
use the
indicates that
resources
during
and
dangerous
personnel
situations,
that they have,
having the support of
right?
an adorable
So, like,
companion
yeah, you
can
have
help
things
set
like Davy
adventurers'
Jones,
minds at
absolutely,
ease
that got
and
released in
prevent
Pirates of the
excess
Caribbean,
nerves.
right? Like,
So,
peak,
we took
in my
inspiration from
opinion,
Cullen
in terms of,
Anba
like,
and
actual
Baron
cinema,
Bunny to
right?
create two
And now you
scouting
have stuff that
devices
just
that are
looks like
both
dog
adorable
water.
and useful.
And it's not to like
Cullen
disparage
Anbat
the
and Bar
actual
Drone
creative
Bunny.
talent, right?
So far,
Because I'm
feedback
sure
has
that
been
they're
pretty positive.
overworked. I'm sure that
Once
they're
we've
stressed.
collected
I'm sure
enough
that they're
data,
having to
the
re-render
academia
stuff.
will
I'm sure
continue
that
to
their
refine
life
the
is
scouting
just that
buddies
they're there
and
to get a
release
paycheck,
even more
right?
designs.
Like they are
A
there
bunch of
to
Cullen
show
Ambas
up,
and Baron
use what
Bunnies
talent
running
they can
around the
with
wilderness?
unrealistic demands.
What is that gonna
and
look
move on
like?
with their day, right? Honestly, fair. I can't blame them at all for that. I do look at management and I do look at people who should know
Plus,
better.
with you to guide
And
our two
why
little
are we
scouts,
getting things
we'll
that
be
look
able
like
to
this is a
obtain some
finished
great
product,
data.
right?
Once
So,
you have a more complete
I think it's
understanding of the
interesting to think
Fieldwise
about that,
Center,
'cause, like, why
you
do
should
we
come
still
test them
have
out.
this over
Now come with me.
reliance
I'll introduce you to the other consultants.
on CGI
Oh
and
yeah,
green screen
the
and
lady
stuff.
with the greenish blue hair
And I
also
think
has a
about it,
super adorable
and,
device over there.
I mean, everyone's hitting
But
the
it
playoffs,
does
right?
something
Everywhere's
completely
getting
different
playoffs.
than our scouting
Every
buddies.
industry. But
I'm
it makes
looking
me
forward to
think that
seeing it in
they
action.
Invested, maybe
Oh,
potentially
hey,
to vertically
another
integrate
familiar
the
face.
animation, green screen, etc., into their own business.
Come on,
And
let's go
because
say
they
hi.
have access to that, they don't want it to be a malinvestment, and therefore will still continue to stick with that CGI animation, etc.
It's really
because
that
they literally
popular.
have the capability of doing it.
The
Even if
internal
doing
locomotion
things in
mechanism is
person
clever enough.
universally
And the execution on the
seems to go
terrain
over
recognition,
better, right?
remote
Look at the
control,
Battle
and
of
weight
Helm's
detection
Deep
modules
in the
isn't
original
bad.
Wilderness trilogy
But
versus
the
the Battle of the
appearance-
Five Armies in the
It
Hobbit
might as well
trilogy,
be a
right?
doll for a
Like,
child.
you know, actual
No,
people playing as
this
Uruk-hai
won't
and
do.
stuff, and I think there was some CG integration, right?
Madam
to show how
Farzan,
many, to show like a
great
lot of
news.
the back of
The Traveler and
10,000
Paimon
Uruk-hai,
agreed
right?
to
Like,
join.
and that's fine.
The
Like
Fieldwise
using it
Center
to
just leveled up
augment,
big
I think,
time,
is
huh?
generally accepted across the board.
Hello, Madam
It's when you
Farzan.
use it as
We're here to
the
help.
sole thing.
Well,
that people
look
run
who
into
the cat
issues,
dragged
right?
in.
Seeing, you know, Captain America and seeing
Excellent job,
Ant-Man
Kale.
on just a
Snagging two
green
top
set.
experts with undeniable
Whereas
adventuring
I start to
expertise.
empathize with
Now
certain
the league won't be able to say a word,
and why the
no
Hobbit
matter
was
what
so
kind of
hard for
feedback
him
I
to fill.
give.
When
Now
comparing
tell
it
me,
to Transformers
you
1,
think of this
today
puzzle,
we only have
pal?
endless hordes of
Wow,
underpaid effects
that looks
artists
just
that are
like you.
outsourced to multiple different studios. So forgive me if it was kind of refreshing to see Michael Bay, of all people, praise his team on the amount of dangerous stunts they were
It's a
able to
collaboration
accomplish
between my juniors in the
practically
Harabatat
on the
Darshan,
ground.
the Puzzlers League, and the Synopsium on
ruin
ruin mechanisms.
And,
Clearly,
you
the
know, knock on
technological
wood.
aspect is quite
'Cause it's
advanced.
by the way, it's
But
just
the
a dangerous
appearance-
business.
Yeah.
What we do,
It
what
couldn't be
they're
more
doing is
childish.
dangerous.
You really
You
get
should
the
have
sense
seen
that
Anise
for this first
defending this
film,
design choice with more
everyone
passion
was
than her
firing
thesis.
on all cylinders.
Right.
Remove the sequels from your mind. This was
Young
the
people
first
these
time
days,
that Transformers
far
were
too
brought
obsessed
into
with making
live
things cute.
action. Everyone that worked on these films grew up with the series. And while, yeah,
Someone
there
kinda
were
likes it.
pitfalls and imperfections, this
Holly and
movie
Amber were just saying how
actually
cute
tried.
companions can
But
help
this really just
adventurers
made me
stay
think,
calm.
how far
With a doll
have
that looks
we
like you
fallen?
by her
In
side,
2007,
thinks she
this
could go
was seen as the
adventuring in a
symbol
super
of
dark ruin and
mass-produced
not even get
Hollywood
scared.
garbage.
And
And
while
yet,
that line of
compared to
thinking
today,
does
this
have
feels
merit,
like old,
and I
quaint
suppose
Hollywood.
choosing this particular
I mean,
appearance is a
Transformers
sign of
1
their
didn't have a
respect.
pre-visioned third act.
For me,
It wasn't the bare minimum.
Still, there
are
in our
adventurers who
corporate
place greater
dystopia.
emphasis on reliability and technical
So yeah,
composition.
I guess I really didn't talk
People
about
like that don't just
the
want their devices
characters
to be able to
or
survive
plot
an
or whatever,
avalanche,
but I
but
have
to
two
look
more
the
of
part,
these films to get into,
and for their appearance
where
to
there is
reflect
not
the
more
high-tech
that meets the
composition.
eye, where you
The
don't want
fluffiness of
eyes,
this puzzle
you just
pal, on the
want
other
death.
hand, doesn't give the impression it would be a reliable or formidable device. The appearance may even be distracting.
Dismissed.
Now picture this. A thick metal casing, square in shape, with a matte finish and openings to showcase the complex technical composition. That would have much
What
more
a
visual
banger
impact.
video, honestly, I liked
I'm the
it. I
perfect
thought it was
example
a
of this.
interesting look at,
I have a youthful
a film that I
appearance,
haven't
and so
watched in
people
a hot
question
minute.
me on
And
occasion.
to kind of see the knock-on
If I had a
effect,
head of
to
white
really
hair
kind of
instead,
see
things would be different.
how modern
Really?
Hollywood is versus how
You
it
want
was.
Paimon to talk to
And
them?
even
He
then,
has
I'm
white
sure that
hair.
they look at something like
What?
a modern
No.
Michael Bay
That-
in modernity, right? They look at
That's
things
not
like
the
Michael
same
Bay.
thing. I didn't realize you had such strict views about this, Madame Farzan. Huh? So, even you prefer this version? Well, if that's what you really think, then fine. You'll have to come back and test it out on some puzzles, Traveler. I'll rate your effectiveness in using the device and come up with a user manual based on your performance. As for improvements to its appearance, long-term observation is required, so I'll put that aside for now. I've already selected a few of the most suitable domains, so we can begin the puzzle-solving process at any time. Thanks, Madame Farzan. I'm just gonna take the Traveler and Paimon to see the final project. But it shouldn't take long. Don't worry, Kale. You're the one in charge here. Just make sure to pace yourself. Once things calm down, come over to see me and we'll have a nice chat. I'll even treat you to some snacks from back in my
Das haut mir
day.
den Spaß so raus, so ein bisschen, ne? Das Video war cool, aber das macht immer so ein bisschen... Es wird immer so ganz Tools immer so ein bisschen...
Thank you,
so
Madame
Hasenscheiße
Farzan.
drin. Das ist mir so,
I'll bring
oh,
a
was ist
few
das? Und so
boxes of floral
Hasenscheiße.
tea as well.
Die guck mal grad so
Go
lecker,
on
Mann.
now.
Was machst du da? Du hast grad so
Do
lecker
me
gezaubert,
proud.
ne? Warum so? Es wird Zeit, meinen Kanal zu abonnieren. Und tut mir einen Gefallen und checkt mal meine Merch aus. Vielleicht ist der ja was für euch. Ich bin vor allem Fan von dem Pulli. Und natürlich Wolki ist sowieso der Beste. Gibt's genug Merch. Was geht aber jetzt?
This last one is a long-term project we're calling the Security Division.
Eine alte Jules-Reaktion von mir.
Thanks to General Mahamatra Sino, we've been able to bring Dia on as the instructor and Candace as the coordinator.
Jetzt hat er sie einfach. Ist das geil, oder?
They're putting together a combat test right now, but they should be back soon.
VPN-Placement ist drin.
Hey, looking for us?
Und hier ganz viele
Guess we
Likes.
showed up right on
Leute,
cue then.
es geht wieder los. Wir reagieren
Wait,
wieder
the
auf
Traveler and
Jules,
Paimon are
die
joining as well?
steht. Jules
That
ist
makes
mit
things a
uns
whole
Ticket
lot easier.
Los geht's, ich bin gespannt.
Sorry for
Machen
keeping
wir's.
you waiting,
Direkt eine
everyone.
wilde Reise.
But
Oh,
we
nur
managed to bring
37
back some good
Minuten.
intel.
Ja, dass Jules keinen Bock mehr auf YouTube hat, ne? Spannend.
Intel?
Ja, los geht's, bin so gespannt.
This is starting to sound intense.
Wir können uns alle darauf einigen, das Internet ist ein wunderbarer Ort. Jeder kann...
Ich weiß grad gar nicht. Schon, aber nein.
jeden
Of course. What better way to protect the students than to sweep through the desert and rid it of all potential dangers? Not a bad plan, right? You in?
Not the best time for jokes, Dia. Besides, when it comes to striking down danger, the Traveler is a man on a mission. He might take you up on that offer.
Defeating anything that might pose a threat? Even if the Traveler worked non-stop, that could still take years. We'd have to stop traveling. Oh, Paimon doesn't even want to think about that.
Dealing with the fallout from the worst leak of US national security intelligence.
Time would be the least of our problems. Some dangers aren't visible to the naked eye, like the scorpions burrowed underground, or the terrifying raptors sleeping in the trees. You can't get rid of them until they jump out to attack you. For situations like these, we'd have to combine Madame Farzan's recommendations with Amber's approach to scouting, calculating our chances of encountering enemies and our expected operation times.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pencils down, everyone. It was just a joke.
The Security Division's goal is a lot simpler, actually. We're just here to ensure that fieldwork teams include trained combat personnel. Some of this work has been entrusted to the Blazing Beasts and other mercenaries, but members of investigation teams who pass the combat test can also qualify. Before an investigation team is allowed to head into a dangerous area, the group must include at least 2 professionals who have passed the assessment. And Dia and I were just out collecting intel on the best place to hold the test.
We found a domain filled with monsters and bandits of all levels. Hopefully, they don't mind us borrowing their stomping ground for a bit. It'll only cost them a few smacks on the head.
Oh, so we just need to supervise, right?
That's right. Participant safety is our utmost priority. So we'll organize a group of capable personnel to take it in shifts.
We still need to figure out our testing metrics, though. Fighting is different from an actual exam, and there's no one right answer. Mercenaries like me, we all have our own style. That's not a problem in actual combat, but when it comes to teaching, we tend to stick too much to what we're used to. So, we need someone to give us a baseline. Someone who has the experience, but also takes a more flexible approach in combat.
Videos hoch, in denen der nervige NPC auf möglichst kreative und brutale Weise drangsaliert wurde, die Doppelmoral der ganzen Sache aufzuzeigen, und YouTube entsperrte letztendlich wieder seine Nackhand.
Das ist das Problem, ne?
Yeah, based on what you just described, Traveler seems like the perfect person for the job.
Ist ja nicht weiblich, passt ja.
Great. Working with you is always a pleasure, Traveler. Smooth as butter on a stick.
Don't forget about compensation for the Traveler in Paimon, Dia. You agreed without doing the math first.
Ah, it's fine. We'll just split the funds Kale wrangled for us, 20-80. 10 for me, 10 for you, 80 for the 2 of them.
Wait, we're getting 80%?
Super Mario 64 versteckt.
Don't sweat it.
Ja, aber...
Das Ganze war eigentlich nur
We're just in charge of the long-term operations. You're the one setting the metrics for the whole thing. So, I think we got the better end of the deal. We've talked about a partnership in the past, haven't we? Well then, consider this the perfect place to start.
Then I'll drop a detailed overview of the compensation so it's clear for everyone.
That'd be great.
And don't worry, Miss Candace. About that piece of land you're leasing to the academia, the one used for grain storage, I managed to get them to agree to a 30% increase in their rent payments.
Oh, thank you. Those funds will go to fixing up some of the village facilities, which should make for a more comfortable experience when investigation teams stop there in the future. All right, we should finish up our arrangements for the combat test. Stop by our station when you're ready, Traveler.
See you soon.
Oh, you sure are the beating heart of this operation, Kale. He brought the whole gang together. Oh, no. I'm just doing what I can. I still have so much to learn, so much work to coordinate. But for now, let's just give it our all. You bet! We'll make the field-wide center the best it can be.
Illegal erlangten Dateien ausgegraben wurde schließlich der Kindheitstraum von vielen Gamern wahr. Luigi war im Spiel.
Über 20 Jahre später mit Luigi endlich real.
Aber er ist halt nicht im Spiel. Weil die damalige Arbeitsspeicher von, was waren es, 30 MB? Ne, aber weniger sogar. Irgendwie so, der Arbeitsspeicher von der N64 hat nicht ausgehalten. Das waren 2 Spieler, gleichzeitig spielen können im Spiel.
Aber bis jetzt hat es niemand geschafft.
Ja, Super Mario 64 DS ist aber wirklich nicht gut, oder? Super Mario 64 DS ist, im Code war er drin, aber er war nicht im Spiel.
Schafft das Monster zu rufen!
Und die heutige Geschichte findet ihren Ursprung im ersten Corona-Jahr. Wer könnte es noch?
Oh, bitte nicht Corona. Aber okay, wir gehen wieder rein in diese Zeit, in die sich keiner zurückwünschen würde.
Jemals vergessen. Der DHL hatte auf einmal keine Ausrede mehr, das Paket zustellen zu können, weil wirklich jeder in Deutschland aufgrund des Lockdowns 24
Ich hab direkt jetzt gemacht, aber Ablago hat von Haus. Aber das ist einfach so, schmeißt mir hin und kannst ihn ich tut's dann, wenn ich mal auf die Tür
zu Hause war. Schlecht bezahlte Krankenpfleger haben so viel Applaus von der deutschen Gesellschaft bekommen, dass sie davon wirklich ihre sozialen
Im Applaus war schon ein bisschen spannend. Aber welcher Plan ist?
Das Schlimmste an dreiwöchigen harten Lockdowns sind die ersten 6 Wochen.
Klopapier und Nudeln wurden eine Zeit lang in so großen Mengen von den Menschen gekauft und gehortet, dass man
Also vor allem Klopapier hab ich nicht. Alle sterben an Corona, war es so, okay, schade, aber verdammt sauber.
sie schon schwarz bekommen konnte.
Weil ich das Infektionsrisiko damit erwiesenermaßen um 70% reduziert.
Die leeren Supermarktregale.
Boah, ich will gar nicht wissen, wie die Kommentare drunter sind. Wenn du Corona ansprichst, dann rasten immer alle aus.
Wurden derart häufig von Leuten fotografiert und online gepostet, dass man sich irgendwann nur noch gefragt hat, ob die Regale auch manchmal die Leere uns fotografieren. Also, ihr wisst schon, die klassischen Corona-Momente eben.
Das wird voll zu toll.
Nordzahl. 10, 10, 600.000 Kokosnuss, 10, 10, Superzahl Coronavirus. Diese Angaben sind wie immer illegal.
Es gab jedoch ein großes Problem. Nicht alle in Deutschland hielten sich an die Corona-Maßnahmen und auch Politiker waren hier keine Ausnahmen. Maßnahmen treffen Ein Beispiel dafür ist der Hamburger Senator Grote, ist seit 2004 SPD-Mitglied, passionierter FC St. Pauli-Fan, war außerdem durch den B20-Gipfel dafür verantwortlich, dass kurz einmal ganz Hamburg gebrannt hat. Er kann außerdem mindestens 3 Klimmzüge und wenn etwas
Mit 3 mehr, jetzt nicht
Hamburg geändert werden muss, dann ist es zuerst auf Anliegen des Schreibtisch.
Diese Baustelle ist ja nur halb fertig. Können wir das schaffen?
Und unter seiner Leitung wurden damals die strengen und überhaupt nicht übertriebenen Corona-Maßnahmen für die Hansestadt Hamburg beschlossen.
Das Virus ist noch in der Stadt, die Lage ist nicht vorbei, die Regelung ist eingehalten worden, wer es nicht tut, das Risiko für alle. Hohes Verantwortungsbewusstsein, Corona-Krise und sehr klar Einhaltung der allgemeinen Verfügung.
Doch als er 2020 wiedergewählt wurde, musste das natürlich trotzdem.
Damals Politiker zu sagen, ein Scheiß. Verschätzt.
Erst einmal gefeiert werden. Ganze 30 seiner elitären Politikerfreunde kamen zum spontanen Anstoßen in einem Restaurant in der Hafenstadt zu einer Zeit, in der Restaurants und Clubs in der ganzen Stadt geschlossen waren und ihr privat mit eurer Familie treffen durfte und dem um jeden Cent kämpfenden Opa, der an Weihnachten seine Familie besuchen wollte, erstmal ein 500 € Strafticket ins Gesicht gedrückt wurde.
Ah, da passt einer nichts. Okay, die Maske. Dann kann es doch so aus und dann. Wir haben keine Maske.
Aber ich, was ich für euch war, so krass. Das ist dann schon. Da haben sie nur Verwarnung bekommen. Eigentlich war es ein Lautgesetz sogar, da müssen wir das zahlen. Aber da war dann so, Passkontrolle, was ist das? In der Bahn war schlimm, kann gut sein, ne? Aber meistens wurde mir eher gebeten aufzusetzen, oder? Oder gab es wirklich, weiß nicht. Also ich muss sagen, da vielleicht habe ich auch ganz wenig Ahnung, was das Thema angeht.
Wurde schließlich zu einem Bußgeld von 1.000 € verdonnert. Eine so richtige Stellungnahme von ihm darüber, dass er sich nicht an die Regeln hielt, die er selber aufgestellt hatte, gab es jedoch nie. Dafür aber ganz viel Blatt.
Er ist ja aufgestellt, ist ja wurscht. Aber ja, dass er das so nichts sagt, das ist klar. Ich will auch mit vielen, was willst du sagen, was ich sagen, also Shorts halten, sagen, irgendeinen Pressesprecher vor, vielleicht wir arbeiten daran, das war eine Zeit
klar von seinem Senatsprecher.
Er hat sich vor den Kolleginnen und Kollegen entschuldigt. Es ist sicher nicht einfach für den Senat, das auch in der Öffentlichkeit zu erklären. Kommentieren habe ich auch.
Naja, Fehler sind jedoch menschlich, auch.
Das ist geil, Alter.
Wenn deutsche Politiker sie machen.
Hey, Wieso, du alter Zerstörer.
Und so vergingen die nächsten Monate und ein Jahr später gab es einen erneuten Lockdown und
alle, die noch wütend sind oder so. Das war eine Zeit, wo ich schwerer war und jeder wütend und unzufrieden oder viel zumindest sich hätte sehr viel verzeihen müssen gegenseitig. Ich finde es auch spannend, dass es heutzutage immer noch Leute gibt, die da voll noch im Game sind und so, es muss aufgerollt werden und so weiter. Ich selber habe meine nicht ausgemacht. Also, ich lache nur drüber, wenn so zurückkommt, das hoffentlich in 10, 15 Jahre oder noch länger nicht mehr vor. Das muss ich dann relativ fragen müssen. Weil, also Corona ist gar nicht so schlimm, aber die Menschen, die waren schon sehr anstrengend.
Trotz der mittlerweile sehr ermüdenden Corona-Maßnahmen feierten tausende Jugendliche im Hamburger Kiezviertel erstmals wieder mit lang ersehnten Partys.
St. Pauli! Fuck Roller! Hey, jetzt gönn ich mir mal eine Flasche Roller. Manche erzählen, Schanschaft, Chinese im Karton. Freundin, hat
Was sind so Witze? Das erste war etwas altrassistisch, das zweite war einfach nur so, was?
Zu gehen wahrscheinlich.
Sind Sie denn des Wahnsinns?
Und Andi Grote scheint sehr, sehr sauer darüber, dass jemand sich über seine aufgestellten Corona-Maßnahmen in Hamburg hinwegsetzte, tweetete über einen NDR-Beitrag, der Feiernden im Hamburger Schanzenviertel berichtete, wie empört er denn von der ganzen Situation sei.
In der Schanze feiert die Ignoranz. Manch einer kann es wohl nicht abwarten zu.
Ja, das war halt eben sehr problematisch, wie so weiß ich nicht. Das war für viele sein, what the fuck?
Alle wieder in den Lockdown müssen. Was für eine dämliche Aktion. Danke an uns Hamburg, die wieder mit der Pandemie zu tun.
Dass das Ganze in Anbetracht seiner gefeierten Corona-Party ein Jahr vorher ein bisschen widersprüchlich wirkt, ist den Leuten auch relativ schnell aufgefallen.
War da nicht irgendwas mit einem Glashaus?
He who lives in a glass house shouldn't throw stones. Oh, well, how about he who lives in a glass house with a machine gun turret on the roof?
Und jeder, der auch nur mal für ein paar Minuten auf Twitter war, weiß, dass die Leute sich nicht gerade Mühe in ihrer Formulierung geben, wenn es darum geht, jemand anderen zu beleidigen.
Vollidiot, Müllhaufen-Gesindel, der Dudelsackpfeifen, ihr versumpften Frösche, du Verdammte.
Ich habe jetzt so geliebt, weil eben so viele Schimpfwörter drin vorkommen. Dabei waren die Schimpfwörter eigentlich immer so ein bisschen, naja.
Körperloses Gehirn, du deine Außermelone, nutzlose Qualle.
Denn unter all den
Shredder war ganz
höhnenden Kommentaren unter Andi Grotes Tweet schrieb ein Twitter-Nutzer mit dem Namen Zitat, du bist so ein Pimmel.
Genau, dieses so eins Pimmel, das ist Running heute noch super oft manchmal selber. Das ist so eins Pimmel. Das war so ein geiler Tweet einfach.
Du bist so ein Pimmel. Eine Beleidigung, die man eigentlich
so eins Pimmel
auf dem Pausenhof der Klasse 2b erwarten würde, doch im Kontext war sie unfassbar effektiv und mächtig. Das Ganze gab dann noch ein paar lustige Seitenhiebe und so vergingen die Wochen. Wir schreiben mittlerweile den 7. September 2021. Über den Dächern von St. Pauli geht in den frühen Morgenstunden die Sonne auf, während die Stadt noch tief im Schlaf versunken ist. Es ist genau 6 Uhr morgens und 6 schwer bewaffnete Polizisten stürmen ein Hamburger Wohnhaus. Durchsuchungsbefehl in der Hand, die Köpfe geschützt mit schusssicheren Helmen und Gewehre griffbereit. Ihr Ziel die Privatwohnung von Marlon P., auch bekannt auf Twitter und dem Namen zu St. Pauli. Diese Wohnung ist kein Versteckungskabinett.
Das war...
Nein, hier leben 2 kleine Kinder und aus dem Schlafwerk zu werden. Trotzdem sucht die Polizei lautstark Schläge im Wind.
Oh, keine Schnapsunterhose? Das ist so schade.
Möbel durchsucht, Computer gesucht und das Gerät auf dem kleinen zuvor der Tweet ist so ein Pimmel verfasst wurde. Das Ergebnis der dramatischen Ausdrucksung mehrerer gesicherte Speichermedien eingesendet wurde. 2 stark traumatisierte Kinder sehr, sehr viel mehr. So verließ die Polizisten die Stadt. Noch am gleichen Tag postete ein Täter gesucht wurde das Gerät, mit dem ein Tweet von Andi geschrieben
Genau, da war ich auch so, jetzt echt wegen so eins Pimmel? Also ich glaube, da waren viel krankere Beleidigungen als das.
Sie wissen, dass 2 kleine Kinder in diesem Haushalt leben. Guten Morgen, Deutschland. Noch am selben Tag dominierten Schlagzeilen die deutsche Medienlandschaft. Eine Mischung aus empörten Reaktionen, kompletter Unverständnis, aber auch humorvollen Kommentaren beinhalteten und das berüchtigte
Pimmel. Das Streisand-Effekt. Dieser krasse Streisand-Effekt.
Gage war geboren.
Ich habe einen Tweet unter dem Beitrag des Innensenators Andi Groth gesetzt. Du bist so ein Pimmel.
Und was danach passierte, erfahrt ihr nach der Werbung.
Und Werbung überspringen wir mal. Ja, Werbung brauchen wir nicht. Alles gut und weiter geht's. Werbung brauchen wir nicht. Kein Bock auf Werbung. Nee,
noch eine Leistung ist. Es hätte den Hamburger Innensenator also deutlich schlimmer hätte treffen können.
Schwammsau, Titten, Klöten, was?
Ich will zurück, so ganz schön wieder zurück. Niemals den Schüler überspringen. Ihr kriegt so Ärger der Community. Ihr kriegt so Ärger der Community. Das ist unglaublich. Ich hab's einmal gemacht, aber nie wieder.
Einst, vor einer sehr, sehr langen Zeit herrschte ein...
Hey there! Ready to go full speed ahead with Cullen Anbot and Bardrone Bunny? Our 2 scouting buddies are tuned up and ready for testing!
Höchstleistung ist.
Eben, war auch verdammt voll überrascht so.
Nice!
Gar nicht. Hast du keine krassere?
Hätte den Hamburger Innensenator also deutlich schlimmer hätte treffen können.
Schwammsau, Titten, Klöten, Rotz, Klöten, blutiger Scheibenfurz, Judenschlampe, Tittenströßel.
South Park ist so durch, aber ist auch witzig, sehr lustig.
Jedenfalls fühlte sich Andi Grote von dem Tweet, in dem man ihn einen Pimmel nannte, wohl irgendwie persönlich angesprochen und stellte daraufhin einen Antrag auf Strafanzeige wegen Beleidigung, einschließlich einer Hausdurchsuchung, um die terroristischen Geräte zu konfiszieren.
Hier merkt man natürlich schon sehr stark, so ja, er hat einfach damit seine Macht missbraucht. Weil ich glaube, niemand kann das auslösen als Privatperson. Das ist einfach nur, weil du Politiker bist.
Digitalisierung heißt übrigens auch, dass man weiß, dass Tweets nicht auf lokalen Geräten gespeichert werden, sondern auf irgendwelchen fetten Twitter-Servern irgendwo in Amerika.
Aber natürlich, wenn du einen Laptop hast und da siehst, es ist sein Account und er ist auch angemeldet, dann weiß man, dass er es ist und kann sagen, ja, der Twitter-User ist er. Aber ich weiß, keine ganze Aktion ist so random. Ich mag gar nicht auf Menüs machen.
Medien stürzen sich natürlich dass das Aufregendste, was Deutschland seit Jahren erlebt hätte.
Das war aber sehr aufregend.
Der allgemeine Konsens war eindeutig klar. Das Ganze sei enorm unverhältnismäßig gewesen und ein paar Ratschläge auch seitens eines Politikers.
Hausdurchsuchung wegen einmal Pimmel schreiben. Unverhältnismäßig. Wenn ich mich entscheide, als Politiker auf Twitter zu gehen, dann wird
das ist doch Julian Reich, oder? Jules, der ist möglich. Ach, Julian Reich. Und generell geht's so gesehen. Aber das Ding ist halt, dass selbst für Bild bei Julian Reich nicht so gut. Das ist eigentlich also vielleicht, ja, seine Meinung, glaube ich, spielt es keine Rolle, oder? Kann man vielleicht raushalten, so ein bisschen. So eine Empfehlung von mir, aber
kein Weg zu sagen, ich dachte, man soll aber Pimmelfest sein.
Die Medien schienen außerdem einen ganz schönen Spaß an der doch so absurde Sache zu haben und fanden alle ihren eigenen Weg, um noch ein bisschen mehr Salz in die betroffene Wunde zu streuen.
Ja, Julian Reich, was ich glaube, ich bin informiert bei New York, ist ja dann nachgewiesen mit dem eigenen Vertrag, ist dran und der ist einige Menschen also der ist wirklich so. Ich kann euch nur empfehlen, das ist
Aktuellen Stand zum Profil von Kim Jong-un. Der Penis von Kim Jong-un ist beim Analverkehr abgebrochen. Bald explodiert mein Kleiderschrank. Los!
Andi Grote,
die Daubner das lustig findet.
Solle doch Größe zeigen. Der NDR wiederum behauptete, Grote bereits eine Klinikgröße. Der Postillon hatte einen satirischen Artikel, in dem behauptet wurde, Bilder von Andi Grote würden sofort als Beschränkung auf Google zensiert werden. Sternformen können natürlich total zufällig ausgewählten Bilder. Die Morgenpost Grote an einem Box und die urologische Fachpresse schrieb auf einmal einen Artikel über die Bedeutung des männlichen Geschlechtsteils.
Man kann sagen, also Memes nicht weggeht. Wenn es um Videokonflikt geht, das ist brutal. Ich sage so, ja, kann doch jeder mit Memes erzählen. Das sind nicht so irgendwelche Memes. Das sind erst diese 1 Milliarde. Das ist jede Sekunde, damit sich eine Ölplatte, das ausgedrückt werden, nicht ausgedacht werden. Das haben die Videos, das sind wirklich Clips. Viele sind wieder, keine Ahnung.
Herauszufinden, wer von uns den coolsten Schwanz hat.
Mein Schwanz kann sogar super Versteck spielen. Kaum seht ihr ihn, schon ist er weg.
In den nächsten Tagen kam außerdem heraus, dass der Twitter-Nutzer bereits vor Wochen eine Vorladung von der Polizei erhielt und die ganze Tat dort bereits gestanden hatte.
Okay, ich habe ihn einen Pimmel genannt. Und was?
Heißt so viel wie die ganze Ausrüstung für einen effektiven Nutzen nicht. Außerdem kam heraus, dass sie falsche
Echt? Oh, kann ich doch gar nicht. Oh, Scheiße.
Weil der Tweet vor Monaten bereits umgezogen war.
Du musst dir mal ähnlich die vorstellen, dass man das Video sieht. Der Andi, der wird auch hier. Oder wird man hier sagen. Oder halt nur wissen, dass das Video von dem Böse ultra toll, dass man das bestimmt
Immer noch auf vielen anderen Mikrofonen nur noch seine Ex-Freundin samt 2 Kindern. Hier könnte man sich außerdem fragen, was eine Hausdurchsuchung denn bitte nützen sollte. Also, was genau hatte sich die Polizei bitte erhofft, mit dem Konzert zu bewirken, als sie im Prinzip die davon sprachen, Beweismittel zu sichern. Oh nein, bitte durchsucht nicht meine Wohnung, nicht dass ihr die illegale Schublade voller vorgeschriebener Schublade.
Franzose? Oh, Schulz, komm, das findet.
Im Schrank, was da die Post, dass ich 10-mal Pokémon geschrieben habe. Der größte Kritikpunkt der Leute hier war die totale Unverhältnismäßigkeit der ganzen Sache. Denn geht man als normaler Bürger in eine Polizeistelle und sagt, dass man jemanden anzeigen möchte, weil Messi-Fan75 auf Twitter dich als Sohn einer vercrackten Straßennutte bezeichnet hat, wird man allerhöchstens komisch angeguckt und der Delikt wird wegen Geringfügigkeit eingestellt, aber niemand macht das in einer Ausdruckssache.
Natürlich ist schon so Kritiker, das ist nicht alles aber es gibt schon Leute, die haben eine Kritiker und viele Kritiker brauchen Bodyguards und S-Kastanien, also die können ja die Totenstille oder so, kann das so nicht ganz genau bewachen. Wenn da Leute wirklich schreiben, dann ist klar, dass da was passieren muss. Also wenn wirklich Angebot oder Presse, irgendwas so, das ist alles Raum ist, aber eben für uns Kinder nicht. Also, ich werde Kommentare auch immer nur die und das ist eigentlich so gut getan
Ich hatte mal 4 Kekse und hab einen gegessen. Da hatte ich bloß noch 3.
Ihr gebt mir 5 Minuten auf dieser Plattform und ich finde mindestens 20 Witze über Ricarda Langs Übergewicht, das
was so gemein ist.
Jens Spahns Kiefer so aussieht, als hätte er eine Nintendo Switch gegessen.
Fuck, was lustig ist.
Fuck, haben wir noch Impfstoff dabei? Haben wir den noch? Kein mehr? Gar nichts mehr?
Die Aufforderung von irgendwelchen Menschen, AfD-Mitglieder abzustechen oder das Plakat mit Hashtag hängt die Grünen, was wochenlang ohne Konsequenz
alles, also so, egal was für Androhungen, das ist alles nicht okay.
in irgendwelchen Straßen in Sachsen hingen.
Ich habe euch doch gesagt, dass wir hier Freunde finden. Auch wenn es landschaftlich in der sächsischen Schweiz vielleicht schöner ist, wir werden hier glücklich werden.
Also, wie heißt es?
Eigentlich voll gemein, wenn du in Sachse bist so, und dann so, das ist voll unfair, mit diesem Topf geworfen zu werden, dann ist es auch nicht lustig.
So schön, vor dem Gesetz sind alle gleich.
Ich finde, ihr habt es nicht rechtfertigt. Das ist Gewalt.
Politiker Doppelmoral mag nicht jeder.
Ich schon.
Soweit, so gut. Doch, was glaubt ihr passiert? Das ist eigentlich
Bürgerinnensenator Antikot möchte auf keinen Fall ein Pimmel genannt werden. Bitte schreibt ihm was Nettes auf seine Twitter-Timeline und achtet darauf, seine Gefühle nicht zu verletzen. Möge das große Pimmeln beginnen. Du bist so ein Pimmel.
Himmel, einer du bist, sogar ein sehr großer Du.
Okay, Leute, das ist nicht, dass ihr auch noch ein Haus. Ein weiterer Twitter-Nutzer hat sie soeben einen Pimmel genannt. Ist das wahr? Sollten wir noch eine aussuchen? Markiert Grote. Sie treffen auf Twitter unter dem Hashtag PimmelNI, Pimmelgrote, Pimmelgate, Pimmelbingo, Pimmel. Das heißt Trend. Bin ich jetzt etwa im Trend? Nein, Herr Grote, es sind Tausende. Soll ich alle Pimmelbeleidigungen für Sie ausdrucken? Nicht notwendig, Jessica. Polizei, Sie haben schon deinen Pimmel genannt.
Ja, mit Blaulicht.
Unzählige Internetnutzer machen diese Klasse. Ja, bei den nächsten Tage haufenweise Pimmelwitze über Anti-Grote und das in allen Größen und Formen.
Andy Grot is a Pimmel.
Das Wort Pimmel wurde in dieser Zeit unverhältnismäßig oft auf Google gesucht und das Beste daran, sowas lockten die Suchmaschinen auf den verschiedenen Plattformen natürlich nicht.
Mit anderen Worten, der Mann hat erreicht, dass er die nächsten 20 Jahre von Google und anderen Services mit Pimmeln assoziiert werden soll.
Hashtag Pimmelgate und Pimmelgrote schossen die nächsten Wochen immer wieder regelmäßig.
Lustig ist halt wirklich, dass es relativ süß ist. Das wäre also an sich nicht so schlimm, wenn ihr mit Mülleimer ist. Das ist auch nicht so geil, ne? Aber es gibt irgendwie, es ist nicht so eine Richtung, aber nicht wirklich doll. Und das ärgert mich, wie gesagt, das witzig war, dass das halt so ist.
Platz 1 der Twitter-Trends.
74 Zentimeter. Rein.
Was kostet das Ding? 4.000 Euro?
Zentimeter.
Man konnte eine Zeit lang auf Twitter einfach nur das Wort Pimmel eingeben und die Plattform selber schlug einen Stil vom SPD-Politiker Anti-Grote vor.
Und jetzt zu Hause habe ich einfach mal das Wort Pimmel gegoogelt, direkt erste Seite, 3 Treffer Herr Grote.
Seine Wikipedia-Seite hat mittlerweile einen größeren Abschnitt über Pimmelgate.
Er ist der wohl einzige Politiker in Deutschland, der einen Wikipedia-Eintrag vorweisen kann, in dem 17 Mal das Wort Pimmel vorkommt.
Es ist so krass. Also das ist der Typ, der sagt, die quit, ne? So wirklich die Gerechtigkeit. Wenn man Gerechtigkeit das nennen kann, dann würde ich sagen, ja.
Respekt. Ein Abschnitt, der größer ist als all seine Leistungen in der Zeit seines Amtes als Politiker.
Er wurde angegriffen, nicht nur das. Wir haben seine Wohnung durchsucht. Alles auf den Kopf gestellt. Was Demokratie bedeutet.
Online-Shops kündigten an, dass sie Rabatte geben würden, wenn man den Code Andi eingibt. Die Geschichte landete im schwedischen Radio und zahlreichen internationalen Medien, von der Züricher Zeitung bis in die Mexikanische Republik.
It's okay to debate politics online, but it can be a crime to call anyone a pimmel, even a politician.
Das Ganze nahm mittlerweile so große Ausmaße an, dass selbst die Washington Post und New York Times, also mitunter die größten Zeitschriften der Welt, Artikel darüber schrieben.
Guys, I finally made it to New York City!
Stellt euch vor, ihr seid irgendein Amerikaner, kauft euch eine Zeitung im Central Park und das erste, was ihr seit Monaten mal über
Hey,
Deutschland lest,
ready to do some quality assurance on our test questions?
Wonderful. Just don't forget to pace yourself.
Yep, all you gotta do is defeat a certain number within the time limit. But hey, leave some for the trainees, okay?
I want to find this guy. I want to know everything about him. I want to know where he lives. I want to know where he sleeps. He pops a gill. I want to know about it.
Who was the politician? I need to know who to call a Pimmel.
Andi Grote zeigte sich trotz der Kritik von allen Seiten nicht wirklich einsichtig. Er meine, er könne keinen Fehler bei sich erkennen und Hassrede müsse eben konsequent verfolgt werden und dazu gehören eben auch regelmäßige Hausdurchsuchungen.
Das Ding also, ja, aber nein, Hassrede sieht anders aus.
So ein einsichtiges, reflektiertes Verhalten kam natürlich grandios bei den Leuten im Internet an und so wollte man Anti Grote eine Lektion erteilen, die er nicht mehr vergessen sollte.
Ich habe da ein ganz mieses Gefühl.
Das Prinzip war einfach. Auf einem DIN A4-Blatt Anti Grote einen Pimmel nennen, Brief ohne Absender an seine offizielle Poststelle losschicken, das Ganze dann online posten und andere davon überzeugen, dasselbe zu tun.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
Arbeitsaufwand ca. 15 Minuten, Geldkosten höchstens 2 bis 3 Euro. Das
Wer macht denn sowas? Also das wäre mir zu doof. Aber ja, ist lustig.
Bild im Kopf, dass Andi Grote in ein paar Tagen vor einem riesigen Briefhaufen steht, in denen er von allen als ein Pimmel bezeichnet wird und jeden davon auch öffnen muss, weil ja auch tatsächlich ein wichtiger Brief dabei sein könnte. Unbezahlbar.
Ich weiß gar nicht, ob Sie es schon wussten, aber man nannte sie im Internet ein Pimmel. Sie sind offiziell als Pimmel betitelt worden. Dies möchten wir Ihnen hiermit bescheinigen. Laut DIN Norm 8 = D kategorisiert sie unsere Behörde als ein Mikropimmel. Hochbimmelungsvoll. Dr. Med. P. Ollermann.
Je kreativer die Formulierung oder der Brief, desto mehr Bonuspunkte gab es. Mit Verlaub, Sie sind ein Pimmel vor dem Herrn. Mit unfreundlichen Grüßen vom Rat der Pimmler. Ehrenmitgliedschaft im Verein Club Deutscher Pimmel.
Wir haben alle einen Pimmel.
Der Brief auf einer Schreibmaschine abgetippt, das poetische Gedicht vom Pimmelkönig und immer so weiter. Ich
Wegen dem Ehrenkönig, oh Gott.
denke, ihr versteht den Punkt.
Ihr schickt dem armen Politiker doch jetzt nicht wirklich kostenlos Dildos, oder? Genau das wollte er doch.
Und so wurde an diesem Tag eine Lektion über das Internet gelernt. Das Internet mag chaotisch wirken und von manchen vielleicht sogar als rechtsfreier und unkontrollierbarer Raum ohne Regeln wahrgenommen. Doch am Ende ist es der einzige Ort.
Thunderclap! I got him cornered. Shadow of the past, mind to command.
The dead will bleed in dragonfire. Book alive! Gloves off!
Engaging! Now's our chance!
Ha! Let's get it on!
In den letzten Tagen sind in der Stadt über
Der Pimmel. Was?
all diese Plakate aufgetaucht.
US-Medien haben über die Pimmel- oder inzwischen eher Pinselposse berichtet.
Wer hat den Riesenpenis in den Schnee gemalt?
Nachdem man im Internet
Der war ja übelst akkurat.
Wer hat den
Der ist krank symmetrisch.
Riesenpenis in den Schnee gemalt?
Nachdem man im Internet nahezu
Aliens, die Kornkreise.
gar nicht mehr um Anspielungen oder Bilder von Pimmeln herumkommen konnte, äußerte sich Andi Grote schließlich zu der ganzen Situation.
Wenn wir wollen, dass solche Taten, Hass- und Beleidigungstaten im Netz konsequent verfolgt werden, dann
Ey, was ist denn los? Also, dass der Mann gar keine Einsicht hat, gell? So, ja, vielleicht war das einfach irgendwie Übergriff. Ist eigentlich ein Angriff. Und das zweite, ja, ich war halt ein bisschen so gut.
dazu ganz regelmäßig wenn wir wollen, dass das die Behörden brauchen wir ganz regelhaft und das dann auch beweissicher als Anklage vorgelegt.
Ja, aber nicht bei sowas. Also das ist Quatsch, ne? Wenn es Verdacht gibt, ne, auf keine Ahnung, Terrorismus oder irgendwas, was bekämpft gehört, ja dann los, ne? Verstehe ich schon.
Looking at the map, we should be getting close. Speaking of which, the closer we get, the more Paimon's heart feels like it's beating out of her chest. Excitement.
sagte natürlich,
Yeah,
dass er gar
sure,
nichts mit der
that's it.
frühstücklichen Hausdurchsuchung bei Marlon P. zu
Oh look,
tun hatte.
it's
weder
Kainari
von
and the
diesem
others.
Tweet überhaupt
Everyone's
wusste
here
oder
bright and
keinen
early.
Einfluss auf die Strafverfolgung
Yeah,
hatte.
the desert's a pretty harsh environment. Better to travel at night and beat the heat.
Und ganz geschickt in ihr Lügengerüst mit eingebaut haben, um so
Hey
Vertrauen
everyone,
herzustellen.
we're
Sein
here.
eigener Senat
Ah,
hingegen sagte,
right on time.
die Grote selber hätte die Anzeige erstattet und es
You don't
sei
need to worry
total
about me.
gerechtfertigt
It's not too hot yet, and I'm properly hydrated.
All right, we're just waiting on the two people Miss Layla mentioned, and then we'll be set.
Mit der
He's staying
Hausuntersuchung
behind.
wollte man eben
If
ein
we don't make it back
Zeichen
after a certain
setzen,
time,
dass dieser Hate Speech
he'll be in
im
charge of
Internet
rescue
durchgeführt
operations.
You can count on me.
Nice! You thought of everything!
Oh, and Cyrus said he'll be in Aru Village, so he's also available if we need help.
Amazing! Having people to watch your back is making Paimon a lot less nervous.
Wollte einfach mal Breaking Bad, ne?
Yeah, I did. After hearing about what happened, my advisor gave me some time off to rest. So, my studies are on hold for now.
Then, does your advisor know you're back in the desert to investigate?
Yes, but I was only allowed to come after I mentioned that General Mahamatra would be there too.
Quite the reputation you've got there, Sino.
Also, wie hat er das gemacht? Er muss ja irgendwie doch Connections haben, oder? Weil ich glaube nicht, dass da so ein Button ist mit los.
Something wrong? You haven't said a word this whole time. Are you in a bad mood or something?
No. Being skilled with words also means being a good listener. I'm just reflecting on what you're saying.
Oh, Hatham! Kaveh! Over here!
Darn it. I was just setting up a brilliant.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll find another chance. The important thing is, our scribe and our renowned architect are here at last.
High praise. But wait, why am I renowned and not him? He's just as famous as Sino, Dia, or Nilu.
That just means your level of fame is even greater. How could a lowly scribe hold a candle to you?
Lowly scribe? Please. All those strings you pulled to get those new books from the House of Dana? What do you call that?
Borrowing. Anyone with an employee ID can do it.
Keiner gab sich jedoch mit diesen uneinsichtigen Statements auch nur ansatzweise zufrieden.
Aha, yeah. The House of Dana bends over backwards for just anyone, does it?
Send a report to Lesser Lord Kusanali then. Let her know someone at the Academia is abusing their position.
Hey! I never said abusing!
Impressive verbal sparring, as always. Oh, hello to you too, Marak. Well, looks like your assistant is raring to go, Kaveh.
Aber das Ding ist halt, wenn halt er wieder drauf eingeht und was sagt, dann löst es die nächste Welle aus. Das ist irgendwie so ein, es gibt so ein Internet-Beef momentan auf YouTube, ne? Das ist ja ganz ähnlich. Das ist
So, I say we get this show on the road. No sense delaying the inevitable. No need. We're in this together, remember?
Oder anders formuliert, unsere Steuergelder investiert
Sure.
da rein, dass
This is the entrance, yeah?
lang Aufkleber entfernen muss, auf denen steht, dass ein unbedeutender SPD-Politiker ein Pimmel sei.
Dann können wir aufhören. Dann können wir es lassen. Dann können wir es lassen.
Wenn etwas gut...
Yes. Steuergeldverschwendung könnte man ja auch andersrum sagen, warum klebt man das noch hin? Ne, dann will man auch keine Steuern verschwenden. Aber ist ja wurscht.
Perfect. Then, if we're all set, let's get moving.
Warum dieser Mann? Muss das sein, Jules? Kommst du mit, Jules, etwa sowas? Weil... Ich glaube, dass da Informationen...
Ein oder andere schlimme Hass, zum Beispiel Käseho.
Has a crush on your mom, bruh.
Dann wurde plötzlich am Haus der Roten Flora in Hamburg ein riesiges Plakat mit der Aufschrift "Ist so ein Pimmel aufgehängt."
Haben Unbekannte denselben Text auf einem Plakat an der Roten Flora aufgehängt.
Der Übeltäter waren laut den Medien wohl Freunde des P-Wortes.
Boah, ich bin auch Freund des P-Wortes. Das ist das Wort fürs Mindeste.
And worst of all, so that's what falling into quicksand feels like?
Nicht auf sich sitzen und so rückte die
If this was quicksand, we would have struggled to breathe. No. I think this was regular sand, and we didn't sink into it. We fell through it.
Agreed.
In other words, sounds like a you problem, Paimon.
Haha! very funny. No, wait, Paimon's the only one.
Ein paar Sekunden später und wohl noch ein fettes P-Wort schrieb mit weißer Farbe ein Andy, du bist so ein Pimmel.
What? I'm the only one with sand in my shoes? Yeah, right.
Sichtlich genervt vom terroristischen Pimmelangriff musste die Polizei natürlich am nächsten Tag.
Das meinte ich jetzt wirklich, würde man einfach nichts machen. Mord oder 2, dann ist die Sache.
Whoa, there are monsters here? Sure didn't say anything about that.
Probably means he didn't run into any. Because we're just unlucky.
Not the best sign of what's to come.
It'll be fine. Let's just use up all our bad. We'll be over there.
Laid bare.
Well, that goes without saying.
Fair point. There's just one problem, though. The only way forward is through that door.
Oh, is it time to hunt for a key? Paimon loves this part. Don't worry, with our adventuring experience, we'll find it. Nope.
Marak, wait! Marak, this isn't really your old home, is it?
What that means, but Marak does sound pretty happy.
So, mechanical life forms do have the capacity to miss home. A novel discovery.
Well, with Marak leading the way, we should be safe, right? Good thing you decided to join, Kaveh. Otherwise, our investigation would have ended at that door.
It was nothing that I did. You should thank Marak instead.
Hold on. At this rate, Paimon's gonna lose her title as best guy to a mechanical suitcase. Aw, thanks. Hey, wait. What do you mean, useless?
Well, no weird mental symptoms so far. I'll take that as a win. That said...
There are 3 doors here.
So, we split up. Divide and conquer. Otherwise, this whole thing is in ruins. No pun intended on that last part. I swear.
Yeah, that might be our best option.
Good idea. And the minute things go south, we go back the way we came.
Ooh, this is getting exciting! So, who's teaming up with who? Paimon calls dibs on the Traveler!
Well, this takes me back. Last time we were in the desert together, the 2 of you came all the way out here to gang up on me.
Oh? Sounds like someone's holding a grudge. Just what I like to hear. If you're still hung up on that last one, just name the time and place. And we'll have ourselves another thrilling... duel.
Huh. What's with the awkward pause? Were you expecting me to stop you from saying something stupid? You two can have 1,000 duels for all I care, after we're done here. For now, focus on the task at hand. This chamber is huge. I can't even imagine what it's used for.
Oh.
What's wrong?
I seem to have stepped on some kind of... stone slab.
Huh. There's a pattern on this, but it's hard to make out with all the dust. Huh? Look! The shape seems to match the markings on the ground over there.
Let's slot it in and see.
And we have a match. Looks like we need to find the other 3 broken slabs.
Let's search the area, but be careful where you step.
Ooh, got one! Ouch, but watch out. The edges are kind of sharp.
Got the 3rd piece. Can't see? Nowhere to run! One with the forest. Yeah. Yeah. We just need one more. Huh. Look! A cat! Could it be the same one Jer mentioned?
I don't think we need to worry about startling him. He doesn't seem afraid of people.
Yeah. If anything, it seems like he wants us to follow.
Oh, he led us to the last piece. Who's a good kitty?
I never thought I'd hear you say something like that.
You've clearly never heard how the professor talks to his tomatoes, then.
All right, well, that's that. Now, we need to figure out how to get rid of all this dust.
Behold, the great Vayuviastra.
Be honest. You've been waiting to say that for... how long now?
Just activate the mechanism.
Huh. It worked. It's a picture of...
3 Hermanubises?
That can't be right. The ears aren't vertical.
Oh, true. And the lugs fall short. My hat is much better looking.
A goat, an ibis, and a crocodile.
Oh, wow. Our botanist knows more than just plants.
Riveting observation. I was just thinking. These 3 figures look a lot like the 7 pillars of King Deshret.
That's right. These are our colleagues.
Our what now?
You sure about that?
Just kidding. But what I meant by that is, these were Hermanubis' colleagues back then. The middle one is the Goat King Harashef, Minister of Ministers, the god Amun's most trusted chancellor. Records say he was the deputy king of the Desert Sands, chief among the 7 pillars.
Someone even more impressive than Hermanubis? I wonder if that ever got his goat. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Okay, that was a good one.
Wait, really? I've got so much more where that came from.
Where were we? This is Sobek, the Crocodile King, Captain of Captains. As the name suggests, He was a valiant commander, and had dominion over all weapons of war. And finally, this is the Ibis King Thoth, scribe of scribes.
Your memory's pretty impressive. I bet you're almost as good as me at memorizing cards.
A scribe? Did he manage archives then? Like Alhaitham?
Wait, that's all Alhaitham does? I never knew being an academia scribe was such a cushy job.
Well, that's how his friend put it, anyway. But it does seem like he has a lot of free time.
Well, I don't know much about the academia, but I'm sure the Ibis King had more responsibilities than that. The temple's records say he represented the wisest aspects of King Deshret, inventing the desert script and arcane arts at his king's command.
He must have been quite the impressive man, then.
Or creature, depending on how you look at it.
Still, why are these three the only ones represented here? What about the other pillars of King Deshret?
Maybe because the three of them were extra close?
Huh. Kinda like us.
Oh yeah! Maybe we should have someone inscribe us on a commemorative stone slab too.
Or we could just take a picture. It would serve the same purpose. Anyway, no more distractions. Huh. Doesn't it look like there's writing carved into the corner?
Huh. There is. And it's in the ancient desert script too.
Looks like the Ibis King left you some homework.
Give me a sec. I'll try and translate it. The ministers are unvirtuous. The scribes unwise. The captains unworthy. My end is not humanity's end. Hereby bestow upon you all the far side of eternity. Wait, so they went to Aru?
It doesn't sound like it was their idea.
The far side of eternity is said to be the final land of dreams for all desert dwellers. But if such a place did exist, wouldn't it also be an inescapable prison?
Yes, and based on the writing here, it's clear King Deshret wasn't pleased with these three. This gift he bestowed upon them seems more like a punishment. Such is the power of a king, I suppose.
Which means the goat's the one who got in the end.
Huh. Yep, not as good the second time.
What? Impossible.
Well, looks like that's all we can learn here. Should we keep going?
Yes, no time to waste.
Jeez, who knew a suitcase could be so fast? Marak is nothing like this when it comes to housework. Hey, wait up!
A scout's job is to take the lead. Just let Marak figure it out.
Easy for you to say. I'll be the one doing the repairs if something happens.
Why don't you go scout ahead then?
When I think of a comeback, I'll let you know. Oh, Marak stopped. What is it? Found something?
Looks like something covered in sand.
Let's get it out then. Come on. Oh, it's a stone slab. Good job, Marak.
Let's take a look.
Huh. Looks like this part of the picture goes over there?
In that case, there must be other pieces.
All right, and let's look around. Hey! Why are you sitting down?
I thought Marak was helping.
Oh, so you do know what that word means. Great. Are we supposed to just sit back while Marak does all the work?
No, I doubt you could do that.
Exactly.
But I can. See?
It's all coming back to me. How insufferable it is to work with this no-good, do-nothing...
We could be more efficient, I agree. I'll work on this piece. You take care of the rest.
Found one! Good teamwork! Looks like we found them all. The pieces fit together like a glove. But we can't see what's on them.
Turn around.
Huh?
Look.
Oh, I've seen this before. It can create strong winds. Just what we need to clean off the slab. Come on, let's... Hey!
Don't worry about me. If I sit here, I won't be in the way.
Oh, you don't want to be in the way? Then sit right in front, so the device can blow you straight back to Sumeru City. Done. Huh. That's one big cat. And there's a shattered crown. I think it's depicting some kind of story.
Look, there's writing too. The Ibis King answered the young noble, granting him the wisdom he sought. But the fragile crown was shattered by lies in the end. Here I leave the name, Gudars.
Gudars? I've seen that name in a history book before. He was a young noble who sought to save his realm, and a king who once united the desert.
That's right. Although his methods were rather shameful. During his long reign, he betrayed his family and the nobles who supported him, only realizing the error of his ways after his enemies left him nowhere to turn. But by then, it was too late.
Seems like a common occurrence across history.
Different people, same mistakes. It's an inevitable pattern, destined to repeat itself.
The writing mentions the Ibis King, but a cat is depicted here. Does that mean...
So far, what's depicted on the slab seems true to history. In which case, this cat is either a proxy for the Ibis King or a manifestation of said king himself. Exaggeration is a common method ancient records use to highlight a being of higher status. And as we know, Layla and Jur both heard the sound of a cat while escaping the ruin.
You're saying the Ibis King, one of the legendary 7 pillars of King Deshret, is here, still helping those in need?
I'm saying we can't rule it out.
Wait, there it is! The cat! Ah! Marak went after him!
The cat's showing us the way forward. Come, let's follow.
Okay. Huh. The cat's... gone.
Yes, but look where he led us.
Oh. Another slab. It looks similar to the last one. Oh, by all means, take your sweet time. Wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. Huh. The scene depicted here...
Seems to be a different tale. The Ibis King answered the Jinn-blooded dancing girl, granting her the wisdom she sought. But enemies plotted to kill her close kin. Snake venom was her self-chosen end. Here I leave the name, Makaira.
The Temptress of Woe?
You've heard of her?
Of course. I don't just sit around doodling all day. She's mentioned in tons of papers about the desert. As I recall, she was given as a gift to the tyrant king of Gurabad, and later seized the opportunity to kill him. After getting her vengeance, she reigned as queen for many years, until her enemies attempted a coup, and she took her own life.
That's more or less the version I've read as well. It seems this queen also had dealings with the Ibis King.
Yeah, I'm starting to find this whole granting wisdom business a bit concerning. I mean, considering how Gudars and Makaira ended up, it might not have been a good thing. But, at the same time, if the cat guiding us is linked to the Ibis King, then he doesn't seem like a villain either.
People are complicated, and the same is true of the servants of the gods, no matter their wisdom or power. Let's reserve judgment for now, and keep moving.
Oh, Paimon meant to ask earlier. Have your memories come back, Layla? No, sorry. To be honest, nothing about this experience feels familiar. Besides, my focus is the stars, so I don't spend a lot of time exploring ancient ruins. Guess that makes us the senior researchers in this scenario. Stick close, all right, Layla? Okay. Wow, what a tall ceiling. Yeah, but for such a big place, it's so empty. Like no one sure must have been boring to live in ancient times, staring at ceilings all day. Now that you mention it, I've heard some people used to draw star maps on their vaulted ceilings. Some might even make them transparent to better observe the movement of the stars. It sounds so nice. Stargazing from the comfort of your own home. Wait a second. I think I see something up there. Huh? How is Paimon supposed to do that? Oh, right. Flying. Duh! Alright, sit tight, everyone! Adventurer Paimon will be right back! Okay. So, there's nothing super special up there. Just a couple of shelves, tables, jars, and scrolls. And a whole bunch of dust, dirt, and sand. You really want to search through all that stuff? Well, when you put it that way... Come on then, let's see what we've got. Paimon's hoping for something super valuable. Thanks. I'll stick close. I think that's everything. Most of the documents are in the ancient desert script, except these ones. These seem old as well, but the handwriting makes them stand out. Right! Let's arrange them in chronological order before we read through. Okay, now let's take a look. Maybe this person fell in by accident, like Mr. Jur and me. Yeah, maybe. But they don't sound super worried about their situation. So, either this person's an ace adventurer, like the Traveler, or some kind of super optimist. An optimist, huh? I wish I could be that sort of person. That's right! You're detailed and passionate. Great qualities for an adventuring buddy. This optimist seems super obsessed with exploring every corner of this place. That could have gotten them in big trouble for all we know. Well, I appreciate the compliment. It's almost magical how words like that can make you feel like you... I only wish that magic could last a little longer. Until I figure out my new study topic, at least. Oh, looks like you were spot on, Paimon. See? Told ya! That's what happens when you don't think things through. And all this talk about seniors and juniors, he was a student just like you, Layla! Whew, he sure talks a big talk for a student, though. You'd think he was some kind of old scholar instead. Huh... What is it? Did Paimon say something wrong? No, not at all. I was just thinking, and this might sound rude, but the way this person speaks is just so... you noticed too. I mean, it's good that he helped treat his companion's wound, but it didn't seem like it was out of kindness. More like he was looking out for his own self-interest, or thought he could get something out of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Yeah. If you're both in this dangerous situation together, wouldn't you mention them at least once? If it were Paimon, she would write down the name of every single person she was with. No one would be able to get away. Actually, I find Paimon's approach quite sensible. It makes sense from a safety perspective, too. That way, if anyone came to the rescue,
the notes would be able to tell them everything they needed to know.
Whoa! That's genius-level thinking!
Well, I learned that from Madame Farzan, actually. I'm not speaking from personal experience or anything. Oh, no! I'm just a student.
It's fine! You taught us something, so you're our teacher! Simple as that! Anyway, from the looks of things, the student who left these notes behind was pretty weird. Let's keep reading. Whoa! Hang on! That's a lot of information. Paimon needs a moment to take this in. The Ibis King. So... did this person actually meet the Ibis King here?
Sorry. Who?
Jeez, not again! Stop teasing her, Traveler! You know she was asking about Nefer. Anyway, Nefer's, a friend of ours. And she's mentioned the Ibis King before, but not in much detail.
Oh, I see. Well, that's not too surprising. Most people in Sumeru know about King Deshret, and most in the academia have at least some knowledge on the 7 pillars. Legend has it, King Deshret ruled the desert at the head of several wise retainers, guiding their people to pursue the limits of wisdom. He also left behind treasures for future generations, which continue to be relevant in nearly every research discipline. Now, this message indicates this student and his senior were rescued by the Ibis King. But to think it's possible to meet him in a place like this... We don't know when these notes were written, but didn't the 7 pillars disappear a long time ago?
Yeah, the notes made it sound like his powers were restricted. Also, the mention of this form? What is that supposed to mean?
I'm not sure. Let's keep reading.
Oh, this is the last page. There's even a signature at the end. Well, sounds like they made it out. Guess it was a...
Wait, but it says, the Ibis King cannot be trusted.
Huh. Our friend said something similar. That the Ibis King was a liar. And the notes did make it seem like something wasn't quite right with him. Maybe he wasn't one of the 7 pillars at all, but some kind of con artist. Great, Ibis King! If you heard that, Paimon didn't mean it! Please forgive her! Don't trap us here!
I think Paimon raises a good point. Let's keep our guard up just in case. Alright, I think that's all the clues around here. How about we...
Oh! It's Marak! That means Kaveh and the others should be around here, right?
Hello? Anyone up there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can!
You know, sound travels just fine in an empty chamber like this. You don't have to shout. Of course, if you're shouting to express your excitement at being reunited, by all means, pretend I never said anything.
Yelling like this is kinda exhausting. Come on!
Wow, we all ended up in the same place, huh?
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Indeed. Or as I like to call it, the chai factor. No reply?
Just say it.
All right. Because it's spice to sweet brew again.
Oh, hey, that's a new version.
Oh, wait, what? You've never heard that one?
What are you looking for?
A place to sit and read my book.
Oh, great. What else is new?
Well, looks like everyone made it through unscathed. Let's take this chance to get some water, rest a bit, and discuss what we learned. Sound good?
Yeah, let's debrief.
Okay, so we all learned a lot, but it feels like we ended up with even more questions.
Yeah, but one thing's for sure. This place is tied to the Ibis King in some way. Hey, Sino. You're the current representative of Hermanubis. Can you call him up for a sec?
Of course. Just let me sense his presence. Just kidding. I can't sense him at all.
Jeez, Sethos. Did you set him up for that one? What are you, a two-man act?
Sorry, Hermanubis isn't like the Ibis King. He can possess me, but I can't talk to him whenever I want.
Oh, truly? Does that mean he's gone? I would have liked to reminisce about old times with him.
Ah, the cat! It speaks!
Of course it speaks. In fact, it is not an it at all. You do me a great offense.
My apologies. Esteemed cats,
Oh, this little contraption is still here.
Contraption? No, this is Marak.
Which means you do his assistant a great offense.
Huh? Well, I didn't mean... Well, I apologize. I wasn't referring to this Marak, but rather the thing that operates it. King Deshret was quite partial to it. I have forgotten what it was called. It must have had an official name, albeit in the old tongue. even if I did remember, I would need to translate it into modern language. Ah, it's not important. Marak's a fine name. Even better than the original, if you ask me. Who thought of it? And the remodeling, quite well done indeed. This Marak looks much happier in its current form. Oh, and the components should have model numbers written on them. You can look them up if you're curious.
This cat talks. Ugh.
Quite the one-sided conversation.
Is this what the Ibis King was like?
He seems quite eloquent. I wonder if he plays cards.
Ha! I knew Marak was a great name. Go me!
Let's see, what page was I on again? Should have brought a bookmark.
That all went over Paimon's head.
Hello indeed. For you to know my name. Yes, I was not mistaken. You are special among your companions. But you are all guests. It is only proper to invite you in. Come then, this way. Welcome to my humble abode.
Oh, your house sure is spacious, Lord Ibis King.
I fear it's not quite what it used to be. In fact, it has long ceased to be my home at all. It belongs to the descendants of the cats I once raised. Such adorable creatures, aren't they? Take the one I'm borrowing here, for instance. A chubby fellow with such lovely fur. Anyway, tradition dictates that a special guest such as yourself be presented with a gift. Alas, it's a first-come, first-served basis, you see. I fear with the passage of time, none are left.
What? So the treasure's gone already?
Treasure, you say? Not an inaccurate description. Yes, and no. I have the power to grant gifts inaccessible to the masses. The only requirement is answering a question. Not a bad deal, yes? Of course, my questions were given unto me by King Deshret, who in turn received them from the Mistress of Flowers. There are 3, and no more. What causes our rise and fall? What obliterates love and hate? What determines truth and falsehood?
The more he talks, the less Paimon understands.
I see. That must mean Gudars and Makaira managed to answer 2 of the 3.
Another who understands.
Oh, so that's the event those 2 slabs are depicting.
Ah, priests and their records. A singular obsession, and quite boring too. After being imprisoned within Aru, I could, on occasion, take the form of a cat to converse with those around me. But I despised speaking to them. No conversational skills whatsoever. Now, humans like you who stumble in here from time to time, you are much more interesting.
Hold on! We're getting off topic again. The 3 questions you just mentioned? What are they for, exactly?
Ah, that is a story that begins with King Deshret.
And we're in for another long one.
Nostalgia for the past is common to us all, is it not? And our king, he was such a proud, solemn man in those days. He watched us speak of the present and the future, of the wisdom we possessed or were about to obtain. We were his proud retainers, confident in our belief that, so long as each one of us used our abilities to the fullest, progress was inevitable. Yet, King Deshret's ambition was not destined to be allowed in a closed-off world such as this, so nothing went as planned. In fact, from the beginning, there were signs an outcome of this nature was inevitable. Because although there were 7 pillars, one was forever absent. Al-Ahmar would insist the Dendro Dragon Sovereign was one of us, but the dragon herself rejected that idea.
Huh. Like a card you can never seem to draw from your deck.
More like a card that was never in the deck to begin with.
Alas, that's just who Al-Ahmar was. There was nothing we could do about that. And I always preferred chess to cards. In the end, life grew unbearable for our king. But, of course, those who remain must continue to live on. But subjects like us were less fortunate. After all, the fate of a retainer is decided by the king, including the chance to walk away. So it was then that King Deshret had Kroko, Goti, and I locked up within Aru, where we remain to this day.
Kroko.
Goti?
Ah, of course. You're more familiar with their full names. Sobek, the Crocodile King, and Hereshef, the Goat King. And let me tell you, when it comes to chess, Hereshef was a habitual backseat strategist, always spewing nonsense from the sidelines. Well, Sobek was all too quick to take his terrible advice, to the point where I was the one who got accused of cheating. Chess is an exercise in patience, and that man couldn't sit still to save his life. He could never excel at that game. In fact, neither of them were good at chess. Even so, we played together often. And since I was always the winner, we got along quite well. What are you laughing at? Were we not good friends?
No one's laughing. Paimon would never.
No, not you. It's Goti. He's laughing for no reason again. Can you not hear him? Ah, right. Of course you can't. The two of them are inside Aru, as am I, so only I can hear them.
What is even going on here? Has he, started to lose it after being trapped for so long?
That does happen to prisoners serving life sentences.
Speaking of which, How's Azar doing these days?
I doubt he's doing much of anything.
Just what I wanted to hear.
What is the meaning of this? You doubt my words? I have half a mind to not talk at all.
Oh, no. They're not questioning you, Lord Ibis King, just discussing other things. Please, continue.
In that case, where were we?
Getting to the part about the 3 questions.
Ah, yes, we're almost there. Before I entered Aru, King Deshret said I could be released from my eternal seal if I chose humans who could provide the correct answers to those 3 questions. The first person who caught my eye was Gudars. I asked him, "What causes our rise and fall?" He answered, "Conspiracy and betrayal, for it renders the righteous and wise unable to succeed, and thus nations fall." I found his answer quite interesting, so I bestowed upon him the power to deceive. The second human I chose was Makaira. I asked her, "What obliterates love and hate?" She said unto me, "I have nothing left to lose. Vengeance alone can quench both love and hate." I found this to be another fascinating response, so I granted her the power to be loved.
But both of them ended up...
Now then, young one, riddle me this. Did their answers point to this fate, or was it the power I bestowed upon them that determined their end?
I'm just an observer who doesn't understand their circumstances, so I can't answer.
A clever reply. I do not wish to comment either. It is all in the past at this point. My only wish was for their answers to be acknowledged by King Deshret's rules, and bring me one step closer to freedom. As for the final person, her fate remains to be seen, so I will not reveal her name. I asked her, "What determines truth and falsehood?" and found her answer quite compelling, so I bestowed upon her a gift to match. As you can see, however, I have not been freed, so it's clear the answer she gave at that time was wrong. But, alas, 3 people were chosen, and 3 questions were asked. So now all I can do is wait. Wait until her wisdom is in line with the rules set forth by my king. Until she has found the true answer to that question.
No wonder there was no 3rd stone slab then. Or perhaps you're just not ready to include her in the story. Though, that might be a generous interpretation.
Well, it's not merely because her story remains unfinished. As the remaining priests of this place left, or passed on, there were none left to record the events that followed. Besides, stone slabs are few and far between in the Great Red Sands. In the sprawling desert, very few things or people even manage to leave a trace. But sometimes I can't help but wonder. If that young man from several centuries ago had been willing to answer my question, would I have left Aru by now?
Wait, so there was someone else?
Of course, it has been thousands of years after all. All sorts of people have stumbled upon this place, but I only chose the special ones. That young man had such a singular intelligence, though his companion, by contrast, was rather average.
The author of those notes we found? The student named Zondik?
Ah, yes, I think that was his name. In truth, I was unsure whether I should grant him my third remaining gift. He was, of course, exceedingly clever, but he was also mistrustful and narcissistic in equal measure, and there did not seem to be a line he was unwilling to cross. Too much power could be dangerous in the hands of someone like him. So I found myself rather relieved when he declined my gift.
Oh, he turned you down?
Yes. He said he didn't need it. I still remember the look in his eyes. Nothing stood out per se, and still I could sense contempt and disdain radiating from his gaze. I could not give an exact reason, but on instinct I just knew. It would not end well to get close to a man like that. So, I tricked him. Stick close to your companion, I said. Only the descendants of Tulatula can come and go as they please. Leave him behind, and there is no escape for you.
So, does that mean his companion wasn't a descendant of Tulatula?
Oh no, that part was true. The lie was in the other half. Anyone can enter or exit this place. There are no restrictions. I saw that his companion was exhausted and was concerned Zondik might leave him behind, or worse, that some other accident might befall him. So I made up an excuse to prevent Zondik from going a step too far. Oh, and speaking of, Zondik's companion had the same blue hair and pointed ears as you.
Wait, does that mean Layla's also a descendant of Tulatula?
Indeed. When Hermanubis founded that city, he took in many who had nowhere else to go. Today, their progeny are scattered to the four winds, and indeed are far more numerous than I could have imagined.
So the person you protected could have been my ancestor.
Yes, yes. You're very welcome for that.
Could I ask another?
Of course. I have nothing but time, I'm afraid.
Did you also save me and a man named Jur?
I did. You two were quite unlucky bumping into a device King Deshret once used to measure human brain power. That contact caused more knowledge than you could handle to flood into your minds. So I replaced that knowledge with simpler, repetitive information. Of course, the side effect being the same thought repeating over and over again in your mind, but that should resolve itself in time.
How many moons are there in the sky?
Yes, that was the phrase I used in your head. I forgot the other one, though. I believe it had something to do with food. Both were spur-of-the-moment decisions, so no need to dwell on the meaning too much.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Lord Ibis King.
As I said, young one, you are most welcome. If you're inclined to return the favor, perhaps you could turn off that device so no one else can trigger it? There's only so much a cat's paw can do, so I'm afraid this is something I must leave to you. Or Marak, I suppose. Oh, splendid! Another one bites the dust. Such is the fate of things here. Day by day, little by little, the remnants of ages past fade into obscurity. For that reason, the gifts of bygone eras, be they tied to your blood or technological in nature, are not to be revered. They are tools, nothing more. Disrespectful? I simply make the most of what I have. Besides, our king has been gone all these years. What good does it do to revere him now?
Oh, are you talking to the Goat King again?
No, Croco this time. He's pestering me for another game of chess. Says he wants to even the score. Wishful thinking, if you ask me. If we counted one push-up for every loss, he'd owe me 300,000 by now. Of course, that's just a rough estimate. I've never kept count.
It appears that's something you like. Being someone unable to be defeated.
I suppose so. All right then. Time for me to extend my winning streak, and for you all to head home. In truth, deep down, I know even the answers to those 3 questions will not change my fate. But that is for me to reckon with. Go on now.
Excuse me, do you even know what time it is? I've harvested 3 crops of tomatoes while you've been gone.
You're exaggerating, Professor.
I'm making a point. There's a difference.
Sincerest apologies for keeping you waiting, Professor Cyrus.
See, that's what I call manners. Now, are any of you hurt?
Nope. It went way smoother than we expected, actually.
I presume the investigation is complete then. Come, tell me all about it. Oh my, did you luck out? If you've read the work from the Vahumana Dashan, you would know that the Ibis King has, well, let's call it a mixed record. Perhaps he softened up a bit in his old age, and that's why he chose to help you.
Or perhaps he just didn't have a good enough reason not to help us. See? Marak agrees.
How do you even know that's what Marak meant? That could have just been a happy noise.
In any case, there's a lot to be happy about. We figured out what happened to Layla and Jur, and there were some unexpected takeaways too.
Yeah, I never expected to learn about my ancestry. I've always thought of myself as just an ordinary student. I never would have even considered something like that could be true.
Come to think of it, our ancestors might even have been friends at some point.
Huh? You're right. Maybe I should take a trip back home to see if I can find any records about that.
Oh, I was just throwing that out there. I wouldn't want you to go to the trouble.
It's fine. My advisor gave me a break, and I still have a few days left, so... Oh, wait. My study topic. I haven't made any progress at all. No. I need to focus on that instead. Right.
Couldn't you help her, Professor?
Huh? No, I could never.
Me, you say? I'm from the Spatamar Darshan, and I don't think that Nephis or Zahahadi researched the stars. All I have to offer are my homegrown tomatoes. Although I suppose it's not impossible. I can ask a few old friends to recommend some interesting topics.
You really don't have to. It sounds like a lot of work.
Hardly. A few passing questions while we water the plants? It's no trouble at all.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Now it's getting late, and you all must be tired. Let's wrap things up here. Some say desert nights are the sun taking mercy on us after the heat of the day. So, let's leave while she still feels merciful.